My pleasure to be here this morning and feel the excitement and enthusiasm in the air in this room. I should tell you, I was looking at the agenda and it said that Dr. Kelly would make a short speech. This could be problematic in that it said a retired university president can be likened to an old running shoe. Everything's worn out except the tongue. When Roll Roads was founded, as Alan mentioned, founded in the mid-90s, it was very clear that we were to be a distinctive, unique, innovative, and change-oriented university that was to focus on the lifelong learner's needs in the workplace, and in the process to create and capitalize on emerging new educational technologies, married with a renewed respect for the professionalism of teaching. In fact, to underscore his passion for a new approach to higher education, the Minister of Advanced Education at the time bluntly stated, "If you become like all the rest, there's no reason for your existence." This kind of keeps us on our toes. Well, as a startup, we were lucky to attract a myriad of educational pioneers, learners, learning facilitators, support staff, buildings and grounds, security staff, board members, administrators, all who shared a common vision and excitement about creating something new in higher education. These folks cultivated an exciting learning environment that gave birth to this university. One of the most important ways that Ellen has mentioned to express our distinctiveness was to ensure our learners, traditionally called students, that they were the primary reason for Roll Roads to in fact exist. That we would strive as a university to collaborate with learners to offer a transformative learning experience. And just talking with Dr. Kull earlier on, there's an incredible distinction that certainly he gets, and I think the university gets, as the distinction between learning and a transformative experience, where in fact the whole idea is to integrate what you've learned into myself as a person and how I go about, in fact, living my learning. Let me share with you some of the insights in today's outstanding recipient, Dr. Frank Robert Bob Kull. Amongst many glowing remarks in Bob's from his nominees, one of them says that you excel at creating learning climates that are authentic, collaborative, energizing, and challenging. And I'm particularly impressed, and I had the opportunity to read Dr. Kull's own philosophy of education that is very introspective, insightful, and obviously deep-seated in the way in which he relates to learners that he works with. Dr. Kull has stated, "My approach is to create a space for exploration with my role as a guide and fellow explorer." Dr. Kull, your penchant for teaching excellence truly reflects the Roll Roads model of living our learning. And at this time, it's my distinguished pleasure and honor to present you with the 2013 Outstanding Teacher Award. Dr. Kull.
Thank you. It's great you're here. Am I on? Hey, everybody. How are you? This is great. It's just great to be here. And Jerry, I'm just really thrilled that you came all the way back from Europe just for this. This is, I mean, you know, this is fantastic. I'm just really excited about this a lot. When Mickey Noble called to break the news to me, I did my little happiness dance, you know. I was just really jazzed by it. So I very much appreciate winning the Kelly Teaching Award this year. It's special. It's really special. And of course, the money is great too. I don't know faculty from other programs other than the Masters of Environmental Education and Communication, but I assume they're as brilliant and dedicated as my colleagues in the MEEC program. And given that, it's a true honor to have received this award, to have been selected for this award. So I'd like to thank the selection committee. And also, I'd like to thank all the other nominees, and especially their nominating committees that cared enough to put their names forward. I'd like to thank my own nominating committee, Liza Ireland, who's the acting director of MEEC, and Nicole Sewer and Kim Wallace. They both took the systems course that I teach, and I supervised their really innovative master's thesis that they explored their own lived experience of inner transformation and their relationship with the non-human world. And I think that's an area that many of us find really fascinating and important, not just that we learn about things, but that we change our relationship with the world in which we live. It was somewhat disappointing, though, when I told my nominating committee that I'd won this award, because one of them said, "Congratulations, you deserve it." I've worked with her for years on proper grammar, and here she is still using the wrong pronoun. The correct form is "we deserve it," because this nominating process is so completely collaborative. The nominating committee is so involved in this process, so it's really great. I'd like to thank the committee that nominated me last year, James Quark and Bert Jansen and Kim Wallace. They got the ball rolling last year, and it just felt so great that they came out of the woodwork to do this. Working in MEEC is fantastic. Rick Kull is wonderful. My colleagues over there, the faculty, the staff, everybody is it's just a great place to work. Really a fantastic place to work. Thanks to everybody at Royal Roads that supports online teaching. CTAT, the computer support staff, the web designers. You know, without you guys, the associate faculty out there, we wouldn't be anywhere. And so thanks for having our backs. It's really great, you know, we're out there that we know we can count on you. So that's fantastic. Thanks especially to all the students over the years that have patiently been teaching me how to teach. Without their direct, open, and honest feedback, I'd be nowhere. Teaching systems, you learn that systems work on feedback, and I try to live what I teach. And so at the end of the course, during the course, but at the end of the course, I request that the students give me very, very detailed feedback, much more than Royal Roads asked for, on what worked in the course, what didn't work so well, and what I can do to work better as a fellow explorer and a guide in the program. In this systems course where we create this, together we create this exploratory space. Teaching is weird. Really, it's a weird thing to do, right? In most things I've done in my life, the longer I've done it, I kind of feel that I know more about it. But in teaching, for me at least, the longer I've done it, the less I feel I know. And I kind of think if I do it for long enough, I'm going to reach that really wonderful Zen Buddhist state of don't know mind, where I don't know anything at all. Because of this, some years ago, I gave up the notion of presenting myself to my classes as an expert authority with the right answers. I couldn't really pull it off anymore. It was just too stressful. And to be truthful, I'm not that interested in supposedly right answers. I'm much more interested in the quality of questioning and self-reflection, of challenging our own blind spots, our own ideas, our own assumptions about the world. When we do that, we open the space for our living. And when we seem to think that we've found the right answer, it seems to close down the space of our living again. So I see my task as opening windows of possibility to let in light and fresh air. I set standards really high. My expectations in my class are super high. And I encourage all of us to be more truly who we are. Even though, as far as I can tell, who we are is profoundly mysterious and undefinable. I started my own education academic education when I was 40 after a motorcycle crash took part of my leg at McGill. I'd happily flunked out of Berkeley when I was 19. And it took me some 25 years to get back to it. And it was disappointing. I've got to say, the experience, at first it was wonderful, but it became disappointing because I got the sense that I wasn't truly welcome in the classroom, me as a human being. What mattered most to me, the meaning of my life, wasn't welcome in the classroom. I had to check myself at the university gates. And so now in my teaching, I invite students to bring all of themselves into our engagement, their hearts as well as their minds, the light and the dark, confusion, clarity, joy, frustration. Bring it all in. And when we do, when we all get in there and we're all completely present, things get really juicy. And that's when stuff starts to really happen. And this is one of the wonderful things about online education, is that students are living in their worlds. And so another thing that I do is I encourage students to take what we're working on together on the online environment and take it directly into their lives. And if they can't do that, if they find that what we're working on, what we're exploring, what we're reading, they can't relate that to their own lived experience, they have the right and the responsibility to challenge me on it and say, hey, what are we up to here? And that's the great thing about online, is it's immediate. They can right away take what's going on in the class into the street. They don't have to wait till they go home later. So that's a huge advantage of it. Another great advantage is the transparency. In traditional university education in the classroom, the professor stands up on his or her hind legs and delivers a lecture. And then the students go off and they struggle with the material, either singly or together. But in online education, we're present to all of it. In the discussion forums, we get to be there when the struggling's happening, the questions are happening, when students are working with each other, and we get to be present and part of that. And that's just incredibly rewarding. So, that's I don't know, it's just something really exciting about that. But online education also has some challenges. And one of them is it's so text-based. It's basically writing. And so I've learned over the years that I have to be much more subtle and precise in my writing, particularly because I can have a really twisted sense of humor at times, especially late at night. And I like to tease. And it can, be taken seriously if I'm not careful. And so, sadly, I've taken to using smiley face emoticons. I mean, really, that's setting the bar low. But I do it because, and I also tell my students, if you feel offended, please tell me right away. Don't hold on to it. Let me know, because it's not my intention to offend you. I also include other modalities in my teaching. I bring in video and audio podcasts each week, collaborate office hours, and I communicate with students one-to-one on Skype. And this has some problems because I get stretched really thin. And sometimes stuff falls off the edge of my desk. I fall off the edge of my desk. And I don't quite know what to do about it because I feel like I'm shortchanging them. And so what I do is I ask them what I should do. And they tell me, and I listen. I wish I had a lot more time up here because there's all kinds of stories I'd like to tell about online teaching, but that's going to have to wait for another day. Thank you.